So I'm cracking on with my prediction vids for May the 30th. For those who are interested, I've just put up a Nick Blackwell versus John Ryder video, so please check my channel page if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that matchup. If you haven't seen that video yet, as you can probably tell by my voice, I've got a really bad cold at the minute, so apologies in advance for the nasal sound that you're probably getting at your end. I wanted to talk briefly about Kell Brook versus Frankie Gavin. In my eyes, unmistakably, Kell Brook is, the most likely winner here. I predict certainly Kell Brook would be my pick to win the fight. Frankie Gavin has fought at a much lower level. His best opponents, Leonard Bundu, Bradley Skeet, and even when he stepped up to that kind of level, he struggled. Bradley Skeet fight was controversial. Leonard Bundu, obviously he lost the fight, getting dropped along the way. Kell Brook is proven, much more highly than Frankie Gavin. The likes of Senchenko, Jojo Dan are probably similar to the level that Gavin's been in with, but Brook also has that win against Sean Porter, which in my opinion is head and shoulders above any form that Frankie Gavin has. In terms of how I see the fight going, or let me put it this way, Kell Brook is a very, very good fighter when fighting from range. He looked excellent in the Jojo Dan fight. However, I think he's a fighter who perhaps lacks a level of versatility, in the sense that, in my opinion, he doesn't have any inside game. In my opinion, he doesn't punch to the body. If you look at the fights against Sean Porter and against Jojo Dan, where does Kell Brook look uncomfortable? For me, where Brook looks uncomfortable is when the guy's right up in his space, fighting on the inside, stifling Brook's work. I think Brook looks better from range, and he's throwing a sort of long 1-2 to the head. If I was Frankie Gavin, my technique would be, firstly, I'd be punching to the body, if anything, to try and highlight the fact that Kell Brook doesn't punch to the body. Realistically, Frankie Gavin isn't suddenly going to develop enough power to take Kell Brook out of there. So I think if Gavin's going to win, he's going to have to outpoint Kell Brook. So I'd look at, going to the body, trying to highlight the fact that Brook's not got that in his locker. I'd also look at trying to vary up the distance. Frankie Gavin cannot afford just to stand in front of Kell Brook. Frankie Gavin cannot afford just to be at the end of the Kell Brook jab cross. He's got to be a mobile target coming in from different angles, trying to come in, do a bit of work on the inside, get out, stay out of range of the Kell Brook jab. Realistically, he's got to approach this as a game of chess. I don't see too many frailties to Kell Brook's game, but what I do see in Kell Brook's game are things that Brook doesn't do, actively. And I think if Frankie Gavin can come in, if he can, mix up the reins, go to the body, as I say, then maybe it does become interesting. But in all likelihood, based on previous form, I have to go for Kell Brook here. And I must say, the stoppage in this fight wouldn't at all surprise me. I know Frankie Gavin hasn't been knocked out, but that's also related to the level of opposition he's been against. If you look at the fact that Leonard Bundu dropped him, Bundu isn't a big puncher. Brook, clearly is a big puncher, and I think Brook's got a size advantage over Gavin. Gavin, to me, looks small at 147, whereas, as we know, Brook is pretty big for the weight. He'll probably end up at light middle at some point in the future. So I think the power dynamic is on Brook's side. I think Gavin does have a little bit of a tendency to hover in front of an opponent, and I think the fact that Gavin got dropped by Bundu, albeit to the body, he could potentially find himself in deep waters against Kell Brook, and a Brook knockdown, maybe even a Brook knockout, wouldn't surprise me. I guess fundamentally my biggest concern is Frankie Gavin. I don't see as an eye-catching worker. I don't see Frankie Gavin throwing, really aesthetically pleasing punches. I don't see Frankie Gavin landing devastating combinations. And I think that's potentially where he's going to struggle, because as he lacks that knockout power, he's got to find a way of of outpointing Kell Brook. And for me, he's just not flashy enough to do that. He just doesn't have enough eye-catching work to his game. So my prediction is Kell Brook fairly comfortably. As I say, there are ways that Gavin could potentially make it interesting, but I find it hard to see anything but a Kell Brook win. Let me know your thoughts, as always, keen to discuss.